Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Drill Team will now take the floor. Feel free to applaud and cheer as they perform their routine. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Antoinette R. Gant, Commander, Joint Task Force National Capital Region, United States Army, Military District of Washington.
All right, is it still morning? Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine, I'm going to say summer day, because it is hot outside. So thank goodness, and thank you, Kilbride, for bringing us inside instead of outside, okay? To our distinguished guests, I understand we may have General Eifler in the building today, as well as Ms. Katie A, and as well as Mr. Knapp. Just want to say thank you for being here, as well as our other distinguished guests, soldiers of the Old Guard, family and friends, and members of the regimental community. Thank you so much. And before I begin with my remarks, I just want to say if you would please join me in giving a round of applause for everyone who had anything to do with putting this ceremony together today. Thank you. And I was just telling Colonel Kilbride, you know, the drill team was a great addition. It was our halftime as we transition. And if you have not seen them before and you want to see more of them, I invite you to come out to Twilight Tattoo on Wednesday evenings, where they are a part of our Twilight Live experience show that actually talks about the Army and our connection to the America's history. So that's just that's the plug, commercial plug I'm going to put in since we're doing halftime. A change of command ceremony is an honored and proud tradition, one that honors where we've been, as well as celebrates the new chapter that's about to begin. And this morning, we gather to thank Colonel Thomas Kilbride for his exceptional leadership, and to bid him warm and a sincere farewell, and to welcome Colonel Jeff Kane as he assumes command of this remarkable regiment. So let me start by welcoming the families who have supported these leaders throughout their career, starting with Tom Kilbride. We have his wife, Katie, here, as well as son Tommy, Maddie, and Hollis' daughters. They're on that side. Let's give them a round of applause. We also have Tom's mom and dad here, Charles and Sandy Kilbride, and I just want to say, Major retired Kilbride served 32 years in the Marine Corps. How amazing is that? Sir, we won't hold it against you that you didn't do Army, but you gave us your son, so we're okay. I want to say thank you, and I know that the Kilbrides have been married for over 40 years, so Tom and Katie have had tremendous example of what a husband and wife team should look like, especially with military experience, so thank you for giving them that. We also have our in-laws, Mr. Nick and Don Thornton, in the building today. They were out at Twilight Tattoo. Thank you all for being here, as well as we have a sister-in-law, Danielle. Is Danielle here? I think Danielle is like on duty in 2 locations. She's like here for drill, but also here to make sure that Tom's got some good representation. And Katie could not be here, but she sent her son and her husband, Tom. How about that? A Tom as a son and a Tom as a son-in-law. And I understand we got Katie as a daughter and a Katie as a daughter-in-law. Ms. Kilbride, I don't know how you keep up with all of this. But thank you all for coming and your steadfast support to Tom and all that he has done during his years of service, especially here with the Old Guard. On the other side, Team Kane, we also welcome his wife Lisa, as well as his daughter Sophie. And so they're coming from Germany. And Sophie told me today that the best thing about being back in the United States is she gets to eat at Chick-fil-A. So yeah, so let's give them a round of applause for being here. Truly, truly grateful for both of these families of what they have done and will continue to do as a part of the Old Guard, and more importantly, as part of the Military District of Washington Joint Task Force. By each successful command, there is a senior non-commissioned officer that advises him, and you saw him out on the floor earlier today, and that is Sergeant Major Nick Rocky. Sergeant Major Rocky, where are you? I'm sure he's trying to make sure. Right there. Okay, all right. Yes, let's give him a round of applause. I was just telling him I don't do anything without my command sergeant major. So Sergeant Major Rocky, I just want to say thank you for your professionalism, your steadfastness, and just truly making sure that this command continues to do well at what it does. Thank you. I need that great NCO. So, yes, let's give him another round of applause. Okay, so now I get to talk about Tom. And your tenure as the 85th regimental commander has been marked by humility, precision, and a deep respect for sacred traditions entrusted in this formation. You led the Old Guard through some of the most consequential ceremonial missions in the Army's history. As a commander of the troops for the state funeral for the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, you directed a joint ceremonial team under profound national attention, ensuring every movement honored a former commander-in-chief. Now, I started off with that because that was like a rolling to, just like we saw out here where our drill team was going in a rolling estimate there. The same thing happened there because right after that funeral, then you also had the honor of serving as the commander of troops for the 60th president inauguration, overseeing a complex nationally broadcast ceremony with absolute professionalism. Didn't stop there. In honor of the Army's 250th birthday, the Old Guard supported a series of national commemorative ceremonies engaged that highlighted the regiment's precision, their professionalism, and endured connection to the Army's long and proud history. You've guided the long-awaited return of the Caisson mission to Arlington National Cemetery, restoring one of the Army's most sacred missions. And then you led the state arrival ceremonies, 2 POI MIA remembrance observances, supported 2 Army 10-milers in the execution of more than 30 ceremonial escorts for senior government officials. These escort missions, often less understood by our public, are the symbolic expressions of our national respect. They require precision, discipline, and an unbroken command presence. And under your leadership, they set the standards for excellence. Wow. You also ensured that while all of this ceremonial was going on, that we accomplish our goals from a standpoint of making sure we're ready for national security. And as a part of the Joint Task Force National Capital Region Military District of Washington mission, the Old Guard stands ready to defend the National Capital Region in the event of a national emergency. This is responsibility that is real. It's practice and it's vital. And under your leadership, the regiment expanded its field training, but built strong joint interoperability and executed the first platoon live fire exercise in the regimental's history. These efforts reinforce the truth that makes the Old Guard unique. And the same soldiers who carry our nation's colors and ceremonies stand ready to defend our national capital. You champion modernization throughout the formation, advancing the military mounted battalion, revitalizing training and improving historic weapons and ceremonial uniforms program, and strengthening the partnership with units such as the 75th Ranger Regiment and the U.S. Park Police. You have maintained this regimental legacy and ensured that it is prepared for the future. And as you transition to serve as the executive officer to the Deputy Undersecretary of the Army, I know you will continue to serve with the same thoughtful professionalism and commitment that's defined you during your time here. And don't forget us, we need money. Thank you again, Tom, for your stellar leadership and commitment to excellence. Super excited for you and the family as you transition to this next assignment in the halls of the Pentagon, where you'll probably be wishing for days to come outside, given what it's like being inside of there during the day. So let's give Tom a round of applause for exceptional work as the commander. And again, to the Kilbride family, I just want to say thank you again for standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder with your soldier as he continues to do excellent work. Now, the great strength of our Army is that when we are never short of exceptional talent. And as one leader transitions, another one stands ready to be able to take on the mantle and carry on the organization's momentum, ensuring that continuity in mission and purpose continues. And that is Jeff Kane. Jeff, yeah, okay, you can clap for him, absolutely. It's always good to have a fan club, okay, no matter where you go. From being an enlisted Marine to an infantry officer, from platoon leader to battalion command, through the demanding joint and strategic assignments, this has prepared you for this exceptional formation. You bring operational depth, humility, and a demonstrated commitment to soldiers. These qualities, they will serve you well here in the regiment. And when I asked Jeff, what is the most important thing that you're looking forward to as you assume command of this most visible, I would say probably the most visible unit there is in the United States Army, he said, well, you know, I want to make sure that I am developing our officers and our non-commissioned officers, but what he said really is making sure that he is just as crisp with his drill and ceremony as the soldiers of which you actually saw out here today. So no pressure, Jeff, no pressure. To Lisa and Sophie, I just want to say thank you again for supporting throughout Jeff's career, and we are so glad to welcome you into our community. Jeff, you take command of, at a moment that there's a lot of momentum, where modernization is underway, where readiness is strong, and this regiment continues to execute missions of national significance. You are exactly the right leader at the right time. Congratulations to you, and Command Sergeant Major Daly and I look forward to supporting you throughout your tenure. Now, I know I've got the soldiers of the Old Guard sitting behind me here, and I don't want to turn my back, but you are the face of the United States Army. You are the soldiers of that the nation sees during its most solemn moments and its most historic ceremonies. You stand ready always to defend the national capital in times of crisis. Your professionalism, discipline, and pride in your mission are evident every single day. And I just want to thank you for your service, and more importantly, thank you for the example that you set for other soldiers all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for attending today's ceremony, especially the family and friends of those who travel far and near to be with our incoming and outgoing commander. This truly is a tremendous honor, and we appreciate the time of being able to celebrate Colonel Tom Kilbride and Colonel Jeff Kane in their endeavors. Heed the guardian, this will defend, be all you can be. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, Colonel Thomas J. Kilbride.
Well, good morning. Lieutenant General Eifler, Major General Gant, Ms. KDA, distinguished guests, friends, family, and the men and women of the Old Guard, thank you for being here. Your presence makes this day truly special. To the soldiers before us in the stands, you looked exceptional and embodied the pride and professionalism of this regiment. So thank you for that. You continue to shape the Army's first and last impression of the Army, and you do it with true precision. Please join me in a round of applause in really recognizing these fine, outstanding soldiers. Today will continue to be a day of thanks for KDI across many fronts. It is a moment to say thank you to those that helped us make this possible. What a ride. As I stand before you for the last time as a regimental commander, I reflect not on my own accomplishments, but on the extraordinary moments that I was able to witness and be prepared and present for. This regiment's greatness was established long before me, and it was my greatest honor to have been able to serve among these who continue to build it. Over the last 2 years, we had a front row seat on history, not as its author, but as a witness. When I assumed command, I had a mentor who told me, "You're going to have to learn how to walk," and he was right. There was an old guard way to do everything, and after more than 20-something years in the Army, I still had more to learn. Nothing humbled me faster than being told at 44 years old that I needed to work on my walk, or that I wasn't loud enough. There was an old guard way to do everything. I learned quickly that the way that I was doing it was close, but not quite right, and I wouldn't trade a single day of it. These experiences shaped my perspective in ways I never expected. We hit the ground running before the regiment. We hit the ground running because this regiment never sleeps. Together, we supported the state funeral for the former President Jimmy Carter, ensuring our nation honored a commander-in-chief with dignity and precision he deserved. Days later, we would execute the presidential inauguration, which is 2 historic national events back-to-back with flawless execution. And in remarkable firsts, we executed the first indoor presidential inauguration in Emancipation Hall in the United States Capitol, showcasing to the world the adaptability and the professionalism that defines this regiment. We helped tell the Army story during the Army 250th birthday. We welcomed the world leaders through state arrivals, including the King of England and the first for the King of Saudi Arabia on horseback. We sharpened our lethality and our warfighting readiness through platoon live fires, tactical training, expert infantry badge testing, and relentless pursuit of excellence that always defines this regiment. And we successfully re-entered and reassumed full operations at Arlington National Cemetery, not simply to execute a mission, but to fulfill a sacred obligation, where our soldiers now execute 2 missions a day with professionalism and precision, and we have set the conditions to expand to 4. This regiment is not the same organization I inherited. It is larger, stronger, more capable, and better prepared for the future. Of all our accomplishments, one makes me especially proud. We rebuilt the Quezon platoon. We didn't just rebuild it, we transformed it. We gave the nation back a capability it should never have lost. And yes, this is where the horses come in. Nothing in more than 20 years of Army service prepared me for leading a formation of horses, each with a name, a personality, and a firm belief that they outrank me. When I took command, we had 19 horses. Today, we have 75, and we're still growing. What began as a platoon is now on the path toward making a battalion-sized capability, restoring a vital national mission that will endure for generations to come. We named them after champions, names that matter. Some are named after the Band of Brothers, paratroopers whose legacy deserves to be spoken out loud. Others honor the legends of America's pastime, Mantle, Robinson, Koufax, and more, champions whose names still inspire generations. When a Gold Star family stands at gravesite in Arlington, watching a caisson carry their loved one, they deserve to know that the horses are not ordinary. They are champions carrying their fallen heroes. This is not a small thing. This is everything. These achievements belong to the soldiers, the sentinels, the handlers, the trainers, the veterinarians, the farriers, and everyone dedicated to this mission. Many unseen, all irreplaceable. As I reflect on these achievements, I'm reminded that none of them belong solely to a commander. Every success belongs to the soldiers, leaders, civilians, and the families of this regiment. The public sees perfection. We know the truth. Every achievement takes hard work, skill, rehearsal, and dedication. Behind every flawless ceremony is a team driven by the sacred weight of this mission, not recognition. To our company commanders, first sergeants, platoon leaders, platoon sergeants, and squad leaders, you made the impossible look routine. You took my vision, my guidance, and occasionally my tinkering, as the DCO will say, and executed it with grace and precision. And I couldn't have scripted better. To my battalion commanders, Lieutenant Colonel Max Pappas, Lieutenant Colonel Pete Van Gel, Lieutenant Colonel Greg Halonia, and Command Sergeant Majors Adolfo Dominguez, Josh Carrig, and Frank Nauta, you carried this regiment through one of the most consequential periods in recent history, and you did it with distinction. To my regimental staff, especially Lieutenant Colonel Derek Draper, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Talone, Major J.T. Johnson, Major James Garrity, and Major Jake McClellan, thank you for your leadership, counsel, and friendship. You've transformed ideas into action and challenges into successes, making this regiment look easy to run. To our Army leadership, Colonel Retired Greg Gardner, Sergeant Major Retired Wimbrow, Colonel Retired Joe Bush, and Sergeant Major Retired Mark Riley, thank you for your mentorship, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to this regiment's legacy. To my Ranger buddy, Command Sergeant Major Rocky, few truly understand the weight and the privilege of leading soldiers, but for the past year and a half, we've shared both. I'm deeply grateful for your counsel, your honesty, and your friendship. Every commander hopes for a sergeant major you can trust. I was fortunate enough to not only have you by my side, but I had both. Continue to lead from the front, and remember to stay out of the kitchen when playing pickleball. Sergeant Major didn't play pickleball, so that's where the joke is. You've always taken the jokes, and I appreciate that. Sergeant Major, you never let me not take myself seriously, and I appreciate that. That's a gift that every commander needs and desires. No commander serves alone, though. To my family, command is never an individual achievement. Behind every commander stands a family that sacrifices just as much as the soldiers wearing the uniform. To my parents, Chuck and Sandy, thank you. I know this past year has not always been easy, and your love and support have meant more than you know. To my in-laws, Dick and Don, you're an extended family from South Dakota and California. Thank you for being here and always being there for us. It means the world to both Katie and I, so thank you. To my siblings, Katie, Jack, and Sean, thank you seems hardly enough. From the beginning, you've always been my guide, my mentor, my greatest supporter. You showed me what it means to dream big and work tirelessly to make those dreams reality, so thank you. To my kids, Madeline, Hollis, and Tommy, thank you for sharing your father with this regiment. We love you, and we look forward to watching you succeed in the adventures ahead. Of all the people I have thanked today, none of them have sacrificed more. And to my wife, Katie, my rock, you continue to amaze me as you balance work, family, and the unit, and me. I'm a handful. Thank you for the late nights, the missed holidays. Thank you for the patience and the strength. Thank you for caring more than anyone knows, and never once asking for recognition. You allowed me to do everything that I wanted to do in command, and I thank you for that. I could not have done anything without you by my side. Katie, I want to say publicly, you were right about most things. I will not be more specific than that, and I ask that we just leave it at that. At the end of the day, you remain the ultimate spouse, mother, friend, and supporter. I love you. To the incoming commander, Colonel Jeff Kane, congratulations. You are about to assume command of the most historic, visible, and important organization in the Army. You bring what this regiment deserves: character, humility, presence, and a true appreciation for the old guard. I know you will lead with distinction. You also inherit 75 horses, so remember their names and good luck. My advice is simple. Trust the soldiers, empower your leaders, care for these families. The regiment will take care of you and will take care of the rest. And as always, honor those who came before you and trust the American people. The Old Guard has told the Army story for nearly 250 years. You are its first and last impression. Remember it well. The story is now yours to lead. Finally, to the soldiers of the Old Guard, thank you for letting me walk among giants for just a little bit. I arrived here believing I would lead this regiment. I now depart profoundly changed, realizing that it was the regiment that truly led me. The command may pass today, but my pride in this regiment will never. The memories of these last 2 years will stay with Katie and I, for me, for the rest of our lives. We will forever cherish the friendships, the shared sacrifices, and the privilege of serving alongside you. This regiment's greatness was established long before me, and it will endure long after me. My greatest honor has been that I was able to lead it. So thank you for your trust, thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you for the privilege of leading America's regiment. May God continue to bless this regiment, its soldiers, its families, our nation. America's regiment, heed the guardian, RCO 85, signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, Colonel Jeffrey M. Kane.
All right. Good morning, Lieutenant General Eifler, Major General Gant, Command Sergeant Major Daly, Ms. Durham Aguilara, Mr. John Knapp, distinguished members of the regiment, general officers, distinguished guests, friends, families, and soldiers of the regiment. Major General Gant, thank you for this opportunity and for the trust and confidence you have placed in me. I am humbled by the responsibility and honored to assume command of America's regiment. Colonel Kilbride, Command Sergeant Major Rocky, thank you for the warm welcome, thoughtful transition, and the tremendous work you and the Legion team have done for this regiment. Thank you for setting my family and me up for success. Brigadier General Saslav and Jill, it means a great deal to Lisa and me that you're here today. To my mom, dad, and brother, thank you for your support and encouragement throughout my life and career. And to my Aunt Janet, thank you for being here today. This is your first military ceremony, and I should probably mention that they don't usually look quite this good. True story. Cliff Kazmarek and Colonel Josh Gaspard, who each led me as a young lieutenant in battle company during the surge in Iraq. Their leadership was foundational to who I am today, and I am grateful for their mentorship, example, and friendship. Thank you both for making the trip to be here. To my wife, Lisa, and daughter, Sophia, thank you for your sacrifice, patience, and unwavering support through every assignment, deployment, and transition, especially this transition. None of this would be possible without you. Thank you. Soldiers of the regiment, over the past 2 weeks, I've spent a lot of time listening, observing, and learning. I visited your formations, watched you train, and talked with soldiers, NCOs, officers, civilians, and families across the regiment. What stands out is not any single mission or ceremony. It's the pride you take in your work. There is a standard here. You can see it in the way soldiers carry themselves. You can see it in the way teams prepare and execute. It's evident everywhere you look. As our nation approaches its 250th birthday, I've thought a lot about stewardship. Every generation inherits institutions, traditions, and responsibilities it did not create. Our responsibility is to strengthen them and pass them forward. That responsibility is especially meaningful in this regiment. The soldiers who came before us built this regiment's reputation. Our duty is to preserve it, improve it, and pass it forward. People like us do things like this It's an honor to join America's regiment. Heed the Guardians. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Colonel and Mrs. Kilbride will receive well wishes in the center of the floor for photos immediately following. Colonel and Mrs. Kane will host a reception in the regimental headquarters building of Conmee Hall to your right. Thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.